Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel SROMA Stories. Today the subject is the silent jealousy. My name is Vanessa and this is my story. For more than 15 years I believe I had a kind of friendship people dream about. My best friend Clara and I met in secondary school, and from that day forward we were almost inseparable. We celebrated birthdays together, supported each other through heartbreaks, and promised that no matter what life brought, we would always remain sisters by choice. After uni, life began to change. I worked hard, started a small event planning business, and slowly built a loyal group of clients. Success didn't come overnight. There were months when I barely earned enough to pay my bills, but I refused to give up. When my business finally began to grow, everyone around me seemed genuinely happy, except Clara. She congratulated me, but something about her smile felt forced. Whenever people praised my work, she would quickly change the subject or make a joke that left me feeling embarrassed. "You are lucky," she would often say. "Some people just stumble into success." I just laughed it off because I didn't want to believe there was anything wrong. As my business expanded, I hired more staff and even opened a small office. Instead of celebrating with me, Clara became strangely distant. She stopped returning my calls as often and often reached out when she needed advice, money, or favor. One evening, I invited her for dinner to celebrate signing my biggest contracts. She arrived late. After listening to me explain how excited I was, she simply shrugged. "I hope you don't get too comfortable," she said. "Businesses fail all the time." Her words caught me off guard. Most friends would have encouraged me. Instead, she seemed disappointed that I was succeeding. That night, I lay awake wondering if I was imagining things. I kept reminding myself that real friends don't compete with each other. But deep down, a small voice whispered something I wasn't ready to accept. Not everyone who smiles with you is happy for you. As the months passed, Clara's behavior became harder to ignore. Whenever I shared good news, she responded with silence. When I announced that my company had won a regional business award, she didn't call or send a message. She simply reacted with a thumbs up emoji in our group chat. At first, I told myself she was busy. Then something unexpected happened. One afternoon, I visited a supplier for a routine business. Whilst waiting in the reception area, I overheard two women discussing my business. One of them mentioned Clara's name. Curiously, I listened more carefully. "I don't know why Vanessa gets so much attention," one woman said. Clara laughed softly. "People only see the polished version," she replied. "If they knew the truth, they wouldn't admire her so much." My heart sank. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Before I could process it, my phone rang. The woman quickly ended their conversation and walked away without noticing I had been sitting just around the corner. I wanted to confront Clara immediately, but I didn't. I needed to understand how long this had been going on. Over the next few weeks, I began paying closer attention. I noticed that every time an opportunity slipped through my fingers, Clara seemed unusually cheerful. Whenever something good happened to me, she became distant, quiet, and impossible to reach. Then my assistant shared something that changed everything. She told me someone had been calling potential clients anonymously, spreading false rumors that my company was unreliable and unprofessional. At first, I couldn't imagine who could do such a thing. Then I remembered Clara's strange comments, her silence, and her conversation I had overheard. For the first time in our 15 years friendship, I asked myself a question I never thought I would have asked. Was my best friend secretly trying to destroy everything I had worked so hard to build? After my assistant told me that someone had been spreading false rumors about our company, I couldn't stop thinking about Clara. I hated myself for even considering that my best friend could be responsible. We had shared too many memories, too many dreams, and too many promises for me to believe she would desperately and deliberately hurt me. Without telling anyone, I asked some of my trusted employees to pretend to be a new client looking for event planning services. I wanted to know who was discouraging people from working with us. 2 days later, she returned with information that left me speechless. He had contacted the same phone number several former clients had mentioned. The woman on the other end warned him not to hire my company. She claimed I was dishonest, failed to deliver quality work, and had cheated several customers. When my employee described the woman's voice, my heart sank. It sounded exactly like Clara, he said. I still wasn't ready to believe it. And another opportunity came unexpectedly. A business networking event was being held in the city, and Clara attended. While speaking with another business owner, she didn't realize I had entered the room. I have known Vanessa for years, she said with a laugh. She's not as successful as people think. Give it time, her business will eventually fall apart. I stood frozen. Those words hurt more than any insult from a stranger ever could. When Clara turned around and saw me, the color drained from her face. Neither of us spoke. I simply walked away. For the first time in 15 years, I realized I had mistakenly familiarized myself and believed familiarity for loyalty. That evening, Clara called me more than 10 times. I didn't answer. The next morning, she showed up unannounced at my office. I can explain, she said. The moment I opened the door, I folded my arms. I'm listening. She sat down and stared at the floor for several moments before speaking. I was jealous, she admitted quietly. I felt my heart sink. When we were younger, I always believed I would be the successful one. I had better grades, more confidence, and bigger dreams. When your business started growing whilst my career stayed the same, I couldn't handle it. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Every time someone praised you, I felt like I was disappearing. Instead of working on myself, I convinced myself that if people stopped believing in you, I would finally feel better. Her confession answered every question I had been asking for months. The silence, the fake congratulations, the cold smiles, the anonymous rumors. They had all come from the same place, jealousy. I looked at her and asked the question that mattered most. Did our friendship ever mean anything to you? She burst into tears. It meant everything, she whispered. That's why I hated myself And every time I heard I betrayed you, her words were heartbreaking. I believe she regretted what she had done. But regret could never erase the damage. Several contracts had been cancelled because of her lies. My employees had been worried about losing their jobs. My reputation had suffered. I realized something important in that moment. Not every wound is caused by hatred. Sometimes the deepest wounds are caused by envy hidden behind a smile. I told Clara I needed time away from our friendship. As she walked out of my office, I knew one chapter of my life had ended. The difficult question was whether another one could ever begin. If you were in my position, would you have ended the friendship with Clara, or would you have given her another chance? If you are interested about getting more stories, don't forget to make a comment, like the page, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.